Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me. I'm not sure if you guys are. Yeah, I guess the system automatically muted you guys, which kind of don't like when it does that. I prefer if you guys can interact. So if you guys want to be unmuted, just mention something in the chat. We'll unmute you if you want to say something. We prefer open dialogue. We don't want to just preach to you. We want to hear what you have to say as well. Um, so we've had some interesting. A lot of our customers in Canada have lost power, so they're trying to join right now. And then our customers in Arkansas, in that area, had a big internet outage as well. So I don't know what's going around in North America, but we're having some issues with technology. Um, so before we get started, I want to just remind everybody who Photo Finale is. I'm sure you guys are all aware, but we are pretty much the only platform that is a full e-commerce solution for all of imaging. Whether it starts with a kiosk, a web application, we have over 130 iPhone apps, and we have several Android apps. We have production software to manage all your production management. We have brand management software to manage how your brand is managed, how you can do your marketing tools. We have Pro Scan and Upload, which is a pro uploader, which most of you guys are using for film, but really it's not just for film, it's for digital services. So if you scan scanner boxes, like shoe boxes of photos, those can be go through the Pro Scan and Upload. If you're doing restorations, those can be delivered through the Photo Finale through that platform. Or if you're doing touch-ups or you're converting a photo to like watercolor or anime or something like that, you use Pro Uploader to put it back in their Photo Finale account. Of course, we have a full API. So for people who want to integrate with their single sign-on or their point of sale system or any type of system like that, they can use our API. We have a series of bundles that help interactions for consumers and also production. And of course, we have our marketplace, which is the largest collection of wholesalers in North America, particularly, and some internationally, that allow customers to extend the reach of their brand through different service offerings. Maybe you don't have a sublimator that can do 40 inches, and we can put you together with a partner that can do it. One of the new ones we're doing right now, and we've had a couple customers use it, is museum quality prints, where you could do something like a 90 by 48 inch metal and have that done. And that's like a $3,000 order. So that's kind of who we are as a platform. And where I'm going to go first in this presentation is I'm going to start with my lab. I'm going to start with some of the back-end productivity tools and production tools for how to configure your lab. Some of you may not be familiar with my lab, especially if you're one of our London Drugs visitors, but this will show you some of the functionality that's in the background so you can get ideas of how London Drugs or your lab could be better configured to help your consumers and get ideas for where to go. And then I'm going to show a little bit about the new front end features of PF19, maybe some new widgets you may not be aware of. And then lastly, I'll end up with some business ideas. I'm going to try to keep this my presentation into about 40 minutes and then hopefully have some 20 minutes of question and answer. I talk pretty fast. I apologize. I am recording this. So if anybody wants a copy post recording, feel free to let us know. So first and foremost, let me start with MyLab. For those of you who aren't familiar, this is the portal for the MyLab system. This is what is used to configure your brand. I'm currently in the Bedford's camera portal. I got permission from Steve, so I'm not doing anything crazy. So first, I'm going to start with a feature that you may be aware of, but maybe you're not aware of it. It's been around a long time, and it's something I'd like you guys to think about configuring for the Christmas season, particularly. If you go into my store management and then you go into general settings, there's a feature here called order review. And what order review is, it's a way where you can tell our system to hold orders and don't send it to production until it's been approved by somebody on your team. And what a lot of the uses for this are going to be things that are going to a third-party supplier. Let's say you have a photo book that you print through Advertech or you print through Fine Art Albums or whomever. If you want to make sure you preview those photo books, look for misspellings, look for continuity, maybe just approve the order because it's over $500 or something like that. This is where you go. And the way you could set it up is you could set up different rules here for what you want to do. And you could say when the review hours are and when you're reviewing. So essentially, if you say hold it for 6 hours, It holds it for 6 business hours, and you're just going to look at your business time here. And if you want to hold it for longer, you can hold it for longer. And then if you don't get to the order, it will automatically release that job, just assuming you're too busy to check the order. So it doesn't hold up production longer than it needs to. So essentially what you can do is set the rules for how you want to review a product. And what the way that looks is, let me see if I can, I'm going to go to a new pat. I'm going to show you what order review looks like. So if I go in here, I'm going to just log into Ritz Camera. I had them hold an order for me on the Ritz site. So if I log into Ritz Camera, I go into this new tab up here called Review. And if I click on the review, it'll then come into this section. And you can see here, I have a $527 order that was placed last night, it looks like, and it's on hold right now. And what I can do is I can view all the photos right here. I can see the projects, and then I could approve the order. I can extend the hold because I want to review it more, or I can actually go in and view the photo book, and it'll actually show me the photo book pages in real time. So then I could get into details, make sure there's no misspellings, and I could approve these products before production. This works for canvases, calendars, cards, what have you. It's a great feature. All it does is you don't have to do it for outsource only. You could do it for in-source. You could do it for a dollar amount, say every order over $100 I want to review. Every order that contains a metal, something like that. You're going to set a rule. And then once I'm done, I've already approved this order. I simply say approve, and then it's going to send that order downstream, and now I have no more orders pending. So essentially, that's the way order review works. It's quite a nice tool that allows you to make sure your production is handled correctly. So I'm going to go back into the Bedford's MyLab. So that's order review. That's been around for a while, but some of you haven't used it or taken advantage of it yet. The next thing I want to talk about is under store management. We have moved all the Lab 50 settings into MyLab, so that they're no longer just in Lab 50. So that's going to make things a lot easier for you to manage, but also it's going to expose some functionality that maybe you didn't know existed. So I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the options. The first is promo codes. You could set up promo codes now in MyLab, and it uses the same business logic as Lab 50 did. However, most of you guys aren't taking advantage of this option right here, one-time use campaigns. And what this allows you to do is create single-use coupons that you can put out there for different behaviors. So one behavior is to go to a Groupon or some sort of specialty site. So you generate 1,000 coupons with special numbers, and you say you're going to generate coupons and you're going to give away canvases at 50% off. The way an independent photo lab would use this is you could pre-print off coupons that you could bundle with your camera sales or with your lens sales. So for example, you can't compete on map pricing a lot, but what B&H Photo does often is they give away services. What you could do is the same thing. You could say, hey, you buy this Canon from me, I'm going to sell it to you at price, and I'm going to give you $100 in free 4x6s, or I'm going to give you 20% off all campus. So you could use this one single-use campaign promotion to drive different behaviors for your customers. If you're not currently using promotions, you're kind of making a mistake. Consumers in today's day and age expect the internet to have specials going on. Now, you shouldn't discount things like your 4x6s or your 5x7s or things that are your staple items. What you should discount primarily are things that you outsource, because with outsourced items, you have no cost of goods, you have no cost of labor, and you have no cost of inventory, no cost of waste. It's just a P&L item. It's just a profit item. So when I think of things I put on special, I always think of what am I outsourcing? Because even if I made $1, I had no cost associated with it. So it's almost a marketing tool. So you can see Bedford's has quite a few promotions running at all times. And they're a very prolific user. And if you ever want to copy somebody, just follow bedfordpicks.com and get some ideas from them. So you can set up your promo codes here. You set up your discounts and your promotions as well. So promo codes are the coupons, and promotions are things that can be tied to a coupon or not tied to a coupon. And some of the ways you use this promotion system are to extend behavior. For example, you could create a promotion that gives tax exempt status to special memberships. So let's say you deal with municipalities or school systems or churches that are tax exempt. you could go ahead and register them as a separate membership and give tax exempt status. And you could assign people to that membership. So promotions can be used to do all sorts of behaviors: buy one, get one, buy one of this, get 50% off that. The business logic is pretty robust. And the way you set it up is go here to general, set up the idea, conditions. All right, what's the buy condition? What does the customer need to do? And then what do they get? Free shipping, tax exempt, or discount. So the business logic here for promotions and discounts is all built into MyLab, and you can configure it right here. Email messages are also now in the MyLab system. And this is something that's very interesting, and it's going to expose some of the functionality that's already been in MyLab for a long time, but maybe you didn't know existed. The first thing is when you go to preview your orders, when you go to look at an order confirmation, you can hit the preview button here, and it'll actually show you what your emails are going to look like. It's filling in dummy data, obviously, but now you can see what your confirmation looks like. As a lab, what you can do is this is just HTML. You could copy and paste this, put it into ChatGPT or Claude or any other system, and then you could paste new HTML in there, see what it looks like, and you could start to improve the look of your preview of your emails. We can, of course, help you with that, but really playing with your emails is something you should do. If you think about it, Amazon doesn't send a single email that doesn't include some sort of promotion for other products. You should do the same. Your receipt shouldn't just be a receipt. It should say, don't forget September is Canvas month. Don't forget Mother's Day is coming. Don't forget we have calendars coming up for 2027. So get the idea of using your emails as a promotion. You have up to 7 times you can communicate with a customer from the Photo Finale system when they place an order. You get order confirmation, order received, ready for pickup, order complete. You also have the idea to do something called a secondary confirmation. So you can set up a secondary confirmation now and have the order confirmation go to the user, and a secondary confirmation can send them specific information about their product. So that could be tied to tags, for example. So, for example, what would that be used for? I ordered a roll of film through film processing through your website, and I want to send a special instructions and a shipping label for how to get that roll of film mailed to me. So it'll send your order confirmation and then a film order confirmation. You can also do that for outsource items. Let's say maybe you're using John Doe or Advertech, and you want to tell your customers that this may take a little bit longer to produce. So you send your order confirmation and then another confirmation that can say, hey, thank you for your order. This product is being specially developed for you and may take up to 7 to 10 days to be available in the store. We look forward to sharing your hardware with us or whatever. So you can have secondary confirmations that can explain better to the customer what's going to happen. And if you order through Amazon, you know that they do this quite often. When you order certain things, maybe it has somebody's going to come out and build it for you. They'll still send you other information. So secondary order confirmations are easy to set up, and you could do it right here through MyLab. And I'm not going to do a full demo of that now, but it's available. If you need help with it, contact our support team, or we'll have some YouTube videos for you to watch. Of course, you can manage your membership plans right through this site. And this is something that a lot of people are not taking advantage of inside their Photo Finale platform. Memberships are a great way to grow affinity within your networks. Let's say, for example, you have a standard membership that's just your free guest membership, right? And for Bedfords, they call that their VIP membership. And that's your free membership. Everybody gets it. It's so they can save projects and track orders and save images. So that's just your standard. But then they can have a Camera Plus Pro account. And I don't know what the rules are at Bedford's, but let's assume that you spend a certain amount of money on cameras and gears through Bedford's, and you get specialty discounts. You get some sort of value for that. And now customers can't sign up for that. You are signing customers into that based on a behavior they had in your store. You can have employee discounts. You can see all the discounts that they have here. We mentioned earlier tax exempt status. You can have a special tax exempt membership where you could put municipalities, schools and churches and whomever else is tax exempt into that. Like, for example, photographers that print through you are probably likely tax exempt status because they're going to be charging their customers for whatever they're reselling off your services. So your taxes, you're not going to be charging them tax. So this allows you to work with those customers and get a better value, promote your services as a B2B way to different users, and really grow your market share that way. So that's memberships. We have some other things that are in here that are new that are quite boring, like tax rules, where you can set up your own custom tax rules. You can set up shipping methods, and all those are new. So I'm going to go now into my general settings. Some of the new items here. We talked before about the order review site. I'm not sure many people know what stock collections are. This is a feature that many of you don't know exists, but you could create a collection in one of your memberships. That is a series of photos that you want all customers to have as soon as they log in. Let's say, for example, you're in a historic district or historic town or a place of that's like if you're a Whistler in Canada, you could have stock images where customers just come in, use your images, and print those photos. Maybe they're just looking for souvenirs. So you can have stock collections that are tagged into the system. The next thing is we have this new system called proofing mode. So now our photo finale now has something a full proofing mode to make the customer view their images or their products before they exit. This is important for photo books and calendars particularly. You could choose to make it optionally enabled, meaning they don't have to proof, but they could proof, or you could make it required. And you can make it required only when a certain price is available. So we're going to enable this only when it's over $50. Then you definitely want the proofing. So for cards, for example, you'd want to do that for greeting cards if somebody's ordering 1,000 wedding invitations or something like that. You kind of want proofing to occur so you have some confirmation that the customer knows what they're doing and they ordered the right product. The way that looks is if I go to, I don't want to be in Sandbox. So this is a test site. This is not a real site, Silverline. This is where we kind of play around. So nothing ever really works perfectly in this site. So if something goes wrong, you won't know why. It's also very ugly. So I'm gonna just go ahead and just do a hardcover book, a 9x7. Just do a simple book real quick to demonstrate what the proofing mode is. So I'm going to go ahead and make a photo book. I'm just gonna send some photos in here, just a quick. So let's say the customer, we did a photo book. Once I say add to cart, I get this new proofing mode here where it'll render the pages. And then until it renders the pages, it won't say it's green right here. And then I have to go through each page and look at each page and review it. Again, I warned you this is a test site and something is not working quite right on it. Oh, there it is. It's just slow because it's on a test server. So you go through like this, they review every product. I can't continue or approve this until I look at every single page. So I'm going to go through and just look at every single page here. It's kind of boring. I should have done this on a live site because these test sites are run on some of our older servers. All right, so now the customer reviewed all the pages. And then once they reviewed all the pages, they'll have this checkbox here and they can approve that. And now they can go through the cart. So essentially that's your proofing mode. So proofing mode is a new feature and it's something that that's very important. For certain products, like for example, I don't know that I want it on canvas. I don't know that I want it on ornaments or something simple like that. I certainly don't want it on prints, but something that's got a lot of text and a lot of images like calendars and photo books and cards, I would probably want proofing turned on. But you could turn it on for each individual product or the whole site, depending on how you want to do it. And again, now you can upload your brand and logos and right through MyLab. So those are the features of MyLab that are new. Of course, we have lots of report. Oh, well, there's a couple other things like you can now in the recent orders, you can also have a filter for pro uploader orders if you just want to see film scans. Also in here, it'll tell you if it's a ship order or not in there. Another feature that's kind of important, I think, if you go into product pricing, you can see your product pricing, but you can actually see who's the supplier. Because a lot of times as a store, you kind of don't, somebody may not know who the supplier is for a particular product. So now you can go through each product, see the cost of goods for wholesale. Green means it's outsourced. see the cost of goods, and you can see who the supplier is for that product line. So if you go through and look at products, you can see these are all in-house developed products, and then they have, or these are from Imagine My Photos. You get the idea. So that's a new feature to be able to check who your suppliers are, and you could filter for a supplier if you wanted to, very simply. So those are the functionality of MyLab that are new. I think it's a good improvement. It's going to make you much more productive, and it's going to be helpful. All right, let's take a look at Bedford's. A lot of the features we have in the new system are around our creative system. So let's go ahead and let's make a photo book. Let's make a classic photo book, 8x8 flush mount, and I'm going to design it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do classic colors. Just do 2 per page. Oh, I got to add some photos to this. Hold on. Okay. All right, so now I've got my photos in my pages and I'm looking at them now. You're going to notice this is a little bit redesigned. It used to be that whenever you clicked on a photo, it would change this tray at the bottom, which kind of got confusing because customers are like, well, where'd that layout button go? Now what happens is when you choose a photo, you get this tray up here. And this is how you interact with zooming. We have a new feature called fit to page, fit to layout, and that'll shrink it in. Because one of the things people always got frustrated with, well, this photo, it's cropping off photos. I didn't want it to crop. So you can now go in and you can fit the page. Of course, you can still resize. And when you have fit the page turned on, it's going to resize with the aspect ratio. We also have a new feature where you can just drag and drop a photo and it'll just create a spot. And you're gonna notice it's a lot more responsive. The whole system is a lot more responsive. We have always had the features like bring it forward or move it back, where you can make it sit behind. But you can see here it's much more user friendly. A lot you can set it as background. I can make that the background, and I can take this photo and I can then change the opacity and make that a light image and move it around. But essentially, the builder's a lot faster. It has the fit to page, but it also has this another feature. I'm going to go to a different page that I haven't messed around with yet. I'm going to change my layout here. Let me get a layout that's like this and put some photos. So notice that photo is cropped in. I hit fit to page and now it fits right. When I move it now, it's got grid lines. I don't know if you can see that through the zoom, but see how it's matching up where it fits, height and center. So now when I'm moving things around, I can say, okay, well, I want to get that fit to page as well. And I can get everything lined up appropriately. So the grid lines are a new thing for lining up photos. But you get the idea. And you can zoom in and zoom out as well. So once I'm done, I continue my books. I can add that product as the next item. Well, this one has a cover, sorry. It's going to take a second. Just make a fake cover. You'll see now in the cart, we have a whole bunch of new features in the cart. In the cart now, it'll promote things, and it has this new button called here, Add Another. And the Add Another functionality is extremely important for customers who are making multiples of the same product. So for example, if I'm doing Christmas cards, but I want to give a different card to my wife's family versus my family, slightly different, I can start with the same card. I hit Add Another, and it'll duplicate that product and start writing that product right away. And then I can continue that product. And now I have 2 separate products that are done. So I made one photo book for my family, one photo book for my wife's family that are slightly different. And you can do that. So a lot of people have requested this for school systems, where a teacher may come in and make a whole bunch of different things. For the students, they can just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's really good for sports teams. Like if everybody in the baseball team gets the same 8x10 collage, but they swap out one student. They just make it one time, add another, add another, add another. It's a very simple way. It's a simple little feature, but I think it's going to be very productive for customers. Um, let's see. Is there anything else? Okay, we have another system. I don't really have a demo of it, but I'll let you know what it is. We have a new payment system that allows you to have house accounts. So let's say, for example, you have photographers that are on account and you don't want them to go through the pay and store option and you don't want them to go um, through the credit card option. You can have an account system where you can set up accounts. And what that'll do is that'll just send it to Lab 50 and it'll say unpaid and it won't print the job until you approve it. And then it'll be up to you to approve it. We won't have any validation on the account, so it's going to be up to you to manage that. But now you can have house accounts built into the platform that will work. That really won't be released until the new Print 50 releases, which will be shortly. Print 50 should be out in a matter of days. Um, Also built in the platform, let me go back to my lab in this new version. I'm going to go into Bedford's catalog. You just pick a product. Weesh, they got some levels of a lot of levels here. What's going on there? All right, there we go. So let's get into a product. I now have new options in the product builder to disable the preview mode. So if you want this product to be opted out of the proofing mode, you can change that by product. We have new fulfillment options where you can render as PNG files or PDFs. And this is important because now we support transparency in the platform. So if a customer designs something like a business logo and has transparency in it, our system will respect the transparency now and send it down with transparency if you're saving it as a PNG file or as a PDF. We have product options like your text input, your zone guides, product tags. And there's another feature in here, and I forget exactly where it is, where you can limit the background colors for certain products. So if you have if you're doing colored mugs, you don't want people to use certain colors, you can limit the background colors. But essentially the idea is now we have transparency built in, and this will be good when the new Print 50 comes out. If you're an API member like London Drugs, you could do it now. If you're a standard photo finale custom print, the new Print 50 will support this, and then you'll be able to do things like cut out fat heads, logos on cards, and logos on mugs and T-shirts, and all that type of stuff. So that should be a pretty interesting feature. An upcoming version of Photo Finale, probably in the next, I won't say when, but very shortly, we will have background removal and masking built into the platform, so customers will be able to remove a background and then place that onto an object, and then you could do fat heads and cards and mugs and all that stuff. So those are all the new features of our platform. Now, let me show you just quickly some best practices of film services. If you're operating film services, there's lots of ways to implement it. Everybody has done a little bit different job. I'm going to show you the way Bedford's did, which is kind of the best practice. If you go to their film services page, they went with just 3 options off the top. We know there's lots of more options in this, but they kind of just said color services, black and white, or E6, because that changes how their production flow works. If you go in, you can then choose your half. These are different variants in pricing, whether it's full frame, half frame, or Advantix. Um, what does the customer want to do? They want to develop and print, develop and scan. I want to develop, scan, and print. Don't cut the negs, medium resolution, and then I want a set of 4x6 prints, and then you order the product. So the way you set up your film lab is really dependent on how you want it to be set up. It can be just anything you want. I'll show you another lab that's very different. Northwests. So I'll pick on Midwest here for a second. If I go on Midwest, what they do for film, they do quite a lot of film. They have a series of videos, which is fantastic. You can build those into your photo finale site very easily, how to develop your film, how to mail it in. And then they went and went with a big iconography for stuff, color film, and then the 35 millimeter film, scan, 36 exposures. And then they have options here, pick up my developed film, ship it to me, or discard my film. And they can choose what they want and add to cart. And then another customer is, I'll just show another film best practice, is Glazers. They're out in Oregon. If I go in and do film services, this is what theirs looks like. Single-use camera, cut and sleeve the negs. I want pro TIFFs, 4x6, and then they go from there. Sometimes they offer push and pull stops. Some people offer that, so you can do anything you want in that regard. Some of the other things you can remember is some of you have our standard websites that have been around for a while, but there's lots we can do with your pages. It's really up to you and us to come up with how to best set up your site to look here, how it wants to look. Here's something that we did in 880, which is a test website for us. So you come into your canvas and I want a standard mat with a white frame, and I'm looking for a portrait. I'll do landscape, and I want a 24 by 16. And then it'll show up behind a couch. That's too small. I want to do a 48 by 16. Oh, that's just perfect. And then you can order the product. So when you want to play with your website to kind of change the way your merchandising is let's work together. You can call us up. We can help you. What most people end up saying is just give me that one. And that's the mistake. It really should be, let's talk about your business model. Let's figure out what you want and let's go. Add to cart, and then I'm done. I'm added to cart. We also have new photo book pages where you can go and shop your photo books. Modern layout, photo cover, choose your book, and go. So as you want to customize your sites in any way you want to customize them, they can be. Photo Finale sites are not like our competitor sites. They're not based on a template. They're really based on HTML. We can really do anything you want. We start with a template for most people. Sorry, I got to log into my VPN real quick. Sorry. We start with a template to begin with, but it can be deviated off that for whatever it is you want to do. And again, we have the built-in built-in integrations for APIs if you need to work with point of sale systems or single sign-on or any other system like that as you go forward. All right, the last thing I want to share with you is some business ideas. So one of the dangers we have in photo finishing is we're pretty creative people, and we have customers coming into our shops asking for very creative things for their particular problem. And we want to be helpful, and we should be helpful for those customers. But those are white glove experiences. Those somebody comes in and they're looking for something truly unique. That's something you kind of want to work on with them. You don't want it discounted. You kind of want that on your website, but you also really want them to come in and talk to you so you can charge an appropriate amount of money out for it. I'm having trouble connecting my VPN here. Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm on my VPN. I am. Okay. So what we did is we came up with some ideas for independents and for smaller chains to come up with how can I drive value through my chain at scale? Because helping the local high school with a couple posters for the football team is not a scale project. That's not a business that works for me when I'm not working. That's a business that works for me while I'm working. So we came up with three basic ideas. I'm going to basically do an overview of them, and we can go into more detail. We have a white paper on these if you'd like them. We have a PowerPoint and pitch deck to help you go out and promote this when you want to do it. The first item is B2B. So we realize that we have this whole B2B side of our business that most of our customers aren't taking advantage. We developed this in another market. We can now give each one of your stores everything that Vistaprint has in the box, and it'll be your brand. So we can give you a branded Vistaprint, essentially, that you could go out and market regionally, and you could make 50 to 100 points on each product being sold. and Photo Finale can take care of the whole thing. We would put your name on here, and then you could go in and people would say, "Oh, what are you looking for?" "I'm looking to do mouse pads," or "I'm looking to do notebooks," and what kind of notebooks. And then this stuff will be all produced, taken care of. All the marketing and graphics are already done by us. It will be just your brand for that product. So they want to do ceramic rugs in a business respect. So these are products that are more business oriented, like drop your logo here. So how would you market this? You would market this. Let's go to every dentist in your area. Maybe they don't want to order 1,000 notepads that you have to buy from Vistaprint. They only want 30. You could do that through this site. They only want 10 mugs. They only want this and that. So we can go ahead and help you get a fully branded B2B site up and running under your brand, just add water type of thing. You got to make a couple business decisions in your margin. You got to come up with some branding. Do you want to change the colors? What's the URL going to be? And then you're in business. You're in the B2B business. And what this business does, it works for you. You go talk to your local chamber of commerce. You hand out your business cards. You say every car shop, dentist, whatever stores in your local area should be printing through you. Let's support each other locally. I'll print it for you. You make the money. We work as a community. So if you ever wanted to get into the B2B business, this is a great way to do that. Another way is something we call prints for a purpose or with a purpose. And we get approached often, and we have done this on a regular basis, for how do I help my local community, charity, 501c, church, school system. How do I get them involved in printing and give them some sort of kickback? For high schools, maybe they get a booster. A booster gets the money. Maybe it's a church and they're raising money for charities. Maybe it's a local cancer charity that does golf tournaments and they want to print photos from it. Prints with a Purpose is a website that's already done, thought through. We have all the logic behind it for how to help you market this, where you can go out to local charities or churches. For example, we have a customer who just did it for one of those big mega churches, 60,000 people mega churches down in Texas, where you could go through and they 20% of the money that goes through the site goes back to the church to fund whatever it is that the church is doing for charities or what have you. We also could do it for local cancer charities or anything like that. But Prints with a Purpose is an idea that you can take, go out and market to your local region, and you can have a Prints with a Purpose website all up and running and ready to go. We did all the work. We just put your brand, change your pricing. It all goes through you. It can either be printed in your store or it can use your same catalog and use some third party or not. You choose what you want to print. But Prints with a Purpose is another idea I think you guys should consider. And then the last one I want to show you is one that we call printing on us. And printing on us is the ability. We did this for with a customer called Viacom for a long time. And I don't know why we never shared it with anybody. It just occurred to us that we didn't share it with you guys. But essentially what Viacom did was they have an HR department was trying to look for benefits to give employees that were unique and special, that would kind of drive family value and uniqueness within the brand. And what they did was they gave, I forget what it was, but I think it was $20 in prints or print credits to every employee every month. And it just replenished. It was a use it or lose it type of thing. And basically, if you think about the photo business, $20 really cost them like $7 in cost of goods. So their employees are thinking they're getting $20 in printing. They're really costing the business $7, but all the printing was going to a lab. Now imagine if you have employers in your area that have thousands of employees, or even have international presence or presence all over, but their headquarters are in your region. We have a whole pitch deck and a whole platform for how to go talk to people about HR departments and how to give them a value of printing. Maybe it's they get $10 in printing a month. Maybe they get $50 in free printing. Maybe they only get half off printing or something like that. Negotiating that value is simple for you to do with who you're going to work with. But the printing on us idea is something that works. We've demonstrated it. It's made money for a couple labs very well. And we'd like you, if you wanted to think about this, if you have big headquarters in your area, the printing on us is available to you and we can help you. So those are the ideas I wanted to share. I'm right at the 40 minute mark, like I said I was. I'd like to open it up to questions. If you mention yourself in the chat, I can then approve you to talk, or if you want to just type your questions in the chat, I'd love to answer any questions that any of you have. It can even be anything about photo finale. You guys rock. Thanks, Richie. Yes, I have this recorded, and I will have Rachel will send it out after this is done, and we get rid of the first 10 minutes when I had it booted up and I was sitting in my office drinking coffee. So we'll have to clip that first 10 minutes and then go. Thank you, Stacy. I want to know who's going to be the first to do printing on us or prints with a purpose. I want somebody to really knock that out of the park because it works already. We know it works, but I haven't had an independent do it. Can I add more than one discount to a membership? You can have as many discounts as you want when you're in a membership. The way it works is when you go into your promotions and discounts, I'm gonna I'm gonna if I just click on let's see, you can the conditions are any registered member. You can change that to a particular membership, and you can do that for as many promotions as you want. It's as simple as that. And I do recommend that because I think if you do a camera plus like Bedford's is doing, and I don't really know what they're doing, so if you know Steve or Jason, I would ask them. But I think they get a certain percentage off certain prints. And then I think every month or so, or every so often, they give a specialty canvas discount for or discount in general for those users. Um, so we'll be able to upload TIFF files. Right now, we're not looking at doing TIFF files. They're just huge. They're massive. And I think in order for that, for us to charge you for that, the storage of chip files, it would be cost prohibitive for both of us. So right now, we don't do TIFFs right now. We may look at that in the future and do it as a side project. Maybe you upload JPEGs, and at the same time, we give a zip share of TIFF files. So we would never store the TIFF files in the Photo Finale account, but maybe there's a side saving of TIFF files, and that's something we were considering. We haven't done yet. Um, okay, let me go back up. We got a whole bunch of questions here. So we'll be able feature requests, bundles such as film, develop, and discounted roll of film. Um, so you could do that right now. If you wanted to do that as an attribute, you can, on the attributes, at the end of ordering your film order, you could say add a roll of film for $5 or something like that. So that's something you could do now. If there's something more particular, Dean, email me or the support team, and we'll see if we can work through your particular promotion. But right now, we do have customers who offer get a roll of film with film processing already, kind of like the old Seattle Filmworks days, if anybody remembers those guys. Um, can you talk briefly about SEO and how to optimize? That's a great question. And SEO has been on something on everybody's mind. So the first thing I'd like to say about SEO is we do what's called SEO pre-rendering in our platform already. And we take care of a lot of that for you. The best way to get content into your site is to play with your descriptions in MyLab for each product. And then those descriptions are going to be rendered and sent to Google. There is an issue with some of the SEO bots when you look at a photo finale system because we use a platform called single page application or SPA, and those sites do not do what's called hydrating a site prior to testing the SEO. So a lot of the cheaper tools will misdiagnose what's going on in our SEO. Google does not. Google knows exactly what we're doing because Google knows how to write code. A lot of the SEO test tools are kind of vibe code and they're not great. So, but what we're doing with SEO is a lot. This feature, this release actually had some SEO functionality that went out, which is it takes all your categories and automatically creates H2s for them and H1s. But if you wanted to do more, you could go through and look at, let's take Myers Photo. It's one of our customers. When I go and look at Myers Photo, and I go and look at the Canvas page, um, see all this description down here? This information is unique to Myers and how they do it, and that's added as SEO. If you wanted to on pages, and I don't think as a brand you should take it and do it all at once. You should say, hey, Photo Finale, I'd like to update my Canvas page. I'd like it to look like this, and I'd like to add this SEO and get that done. And then say, okay, now let's work on the photo book page. And we go one by one through your pages every so often. So you're not swamped trying to make it perfect before it goes live. And then we're not swamped trying to get it all executed for every client immediately. So the best way to do it, if you wanted to add things like this right here that Myers has, I highly recommend it. We can work together with you. The best path is to say, hey, let's start with a page and let's modify that page and let's improve over time. And a person on this call that we've done that with is Stacy from Program. We've certainly worked with her to improve her SEO and do different things. So if you guys are interested in that, contact our support team and we can work through it and try to go through it. But SEO is we're fully SEO capable and we can modify anything you want, and it costs you $0, no money. Will these webinars be regular so I can involve employees? I think it should be regular, and I think that's a great idea. I think I'm going to try to do it once a month. So what I'll do is I'll talk to Rachel and her team to see if they can schedule it once a month, and we'll do a webinar once a month. I think that's a good idea, especially right now. We're getting it back to school going on right now. In September, we're really going to have to talk about pre-fourth quarter specials and promotions, what we're doing. By the end of September, we've all have to have uh, our Black Friday specials and our timings and our calendars ready to go. And then you should start promoting your calendars and cards at October 1 and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think we should do this in September as well. Can you order crop and fit on the same order? Not today, but that is a feature that is in the works. So we are aware of that. Right now um, it is a blanket order function, but that's just for right now. But we are going that way. Is there something we can add to our website? Sure. We have a full CMS. If you want access to it, we can give you the password. You can go in, modify to your heart's content. Most dealers don't like to do that because it's, you could make a mistake, and backing out of the mistake. For example, the biggest mistake people do is they go in their product catalog and they'll delete a catalog thinking, well, I'm not going to do that, or I'm out of stock on that. And then what that does is ends up breaking links downstream. So then you go to work. Like I'll show you an example in Silverline. Somebody was playing around in Silverline, and they went to the photo books page and they deleted the photo book category. So now this is a dead link. So you could do it. We can give you the access to it, but it's most likely better for us to help you with it. But because it doesn't cost you anything, there's no value. But if you want to get in there, we do have dealers who do that, and you're welcome to. But it is not a WYSIWYG like WordPress interface. We're developers. It's an HTML CMS. So some of the other things I'd like, you guys should be following people online. If you want to follow a customer who's got a lot of specials going on, Myers Photo is a good one to follow. They have a lot of specials going on, and they can help you with it. They can help you understand what's going on in the marketplace. Um, you can get ideas for different types of events. Like for example, um, like photo books, like mugs and those things. Let me see where bugs. Like mugs. Mugs don't just need to be a picture on an image. They should be all types of images, like different colors and different designs. Like you shouldn't be selling a mug that's just a mug. It should be a mug with Father's Day and Mother's Day and back to school and do so and so forth. So your pages can evolve with us as you want to focus on your category. There's really no limit to what we could do with your platform. Um, we talk to some of you not frequently, so I think we should talk more frequently if we can. And that's probably a fault of ours to reach out more. but also also maybe you guys could reach out to us and say, hey, I really think I should be doing better in Canvas. How can I improve my Canvas page? Are there any more questions? Well, if there's no more questions, we got out of here before an hour's up, which is always great to beat a meeting. And I appreciate all your time. Photo Finale appreciates your business. And I look forward to talking or seeing you guys in the future. If you're going to be at the Photo Source show or the Pro show coming up, we'll be there. We're not going to be attending Printing United this year, but we are attending the Pro show and the Photo Source show. And I hope to get up and virtually attend some of the LD classes as well. Okay, guys. Thank you.